Hi, this is Susan Broadley Bortfield from Partners at Play and Soul Speakers Global. I'm so excited because today I get to play with the most amazing, brilliant mind extraordinaire, Christy Whitman. Hello, Christy.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I'm glad to share this space with you. I forgot my crystal,
Oh,
and with all of your viewers, and thank you for those kind words.
Oh, I'm just really excited because it's only fitting that you're with us today since, all the students in my group are from the QSCA.
Mhm.
So they're all very heart-centered and very loving and very awesome at what they do. So thank you so much for sharing in that. Um, in case you don't know who the amazing Christy Whitman is, I'm just going to read her bio. Christy Whitman is a healer, a transformational leader, celebrity coach, and the New York Times best-selling author of The Art of Having It All. Has appeared on the Today Show, The Morning Show. Her work has been featured in People magazine, 17, Woman's Day, just to name a few. Christy is the CEO and founder of the Quantum Success Learning Academy and the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, a 12-month law of attraction coaching certification program that everyone that you see today has been through. So thank you. Christy has helped thousands of people. Um, oh my gosh, worldwide, right? Worldwide. She's a global leader. Christy is changing the lives of millions of people. She reaches 200,000 people a month. Yes, 200, wow, 200,000 a month. And her work has been promoted by, and she's been featured by esteemed authors and luminaries such as Mary Ann Williamson, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Marcy Shimoff, Brian Tracy, Abraham Hicks, Louise Hay, and many others. She lives right now in Arizona with her husband Frederick and her boys, her amazing boys, Alexander and Maxim. So thank you. I know I botched that up a little bit, um,
Great.
but I'm just so excited to have you here. So I'm just going to breathe. Yes. So Oh, I'm so honored that you said yes to the invitation, and it means so much to everyone in the group that you are, sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, and your time with us. You are someone that I aspire to be like. We're all individuals, but I do aspire to, be that leader, be be that person that, with such grace. You have such grace, and you're just brilliant. So, oh, so
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you, and thank you.
So, okay, so now that I got that out of the way, um, you are like the master manifester. You embody the laws of the universe. You are a coach, um, the coach of all coaches in my mind. I have studied with many, many coaches, but you are amazing.
Are you trying to make me cry? Is that what this is
Not
about?
yet, that's coming later. Don't worry. But you really have, because when I started your program, I was just recovering from being bedridden. So your program, it was an unexpected turn in my life, but through your program, I found my purpose. And, you know, what do you say to somebody that does that for you?
Well, I wish I could take all the credit, but it was just me following my divine, and it's your divine that's tracked the information and applied it and took it. And so, I can't really take all the credit. I'm grateful that I got to be the channel for it. But it's not me. It's co-creating with it. But thank you.
Yeah. So what made you become a coach in the first place? And, why the law of attraction? Like, what brought you to that place in your life?
Well, I would have to say law of attraction came before coaching, and it's something that I learned about 20 years ago, and I was learning it and refining it and learning more information. Of course, being a seeker that I am, because I have such a strong desire for knowledge and information. And when I had questions, the information, the answers would appear. Thank God. And about 5 years into studying about universal laws and really applying it, because it's like you could study it all day, but unless you're applying it, you're not really shifting anything. So I was getting a lot of changes in my life because I was applying the information. And I was about 5 years in, and that's when I had my first book download through me. And when I got the book in my hands, and after my mom and everybody I knew basically purchased the book, which they were not the ideal client. They were not the leadership for this book. They were all like, okay, she's lost her mind. Family, friends, that kind of thing. And so I thought, okay, well, who am I going to speak to this book about? And so I started speaking in spiritual bookstores and also like spiritual stores, churches, like New Thought churches. And this one time when I was in Sacramento speaking at a bookstore that they used to have there called the East West Bookstore, I was doing like a little workshop, and the people in the workshop kept asking me, well, do you coach? And my frame of reference back in those days was like, I used to be a cheerleading coach. So I was like, well, what do you mean by coach? I was so like, I just couldn't connect anything because it didn't make any sense to me. So they were educating me on this thing called life coaching. And I'm like, people get paid for that? Like, where do I sign up? And so the more I got these people, I said, just call me, on the phone, and I can walk you through processes and things like that. And the more I started doing that with them and seeing what was changing in their life, I loved doing it. And they were getting such great, changes and responses that it felt so good to be able to be a facilitator of that change. And, so I was like, oh, I really love doing this. And I started going to school for it, and then training for it. And then I was a pharmaceutical rep at the time. And because I was applying everything I was learning and everything I was teaching, I had amazing results. So I was like the #1 salesperson in my district. And, every time there was an award to win, we had 3 medications that we would sell. I would win every single time. Everybody on my team at meetings would be like, Christy Whitman, just give us,
Yes.
Exhausted by the, and finally I had a woman who ended up being my very first client. She said to me, okay, I'm the last in the district. You're the first. Everybody's exhausted by how many times you win. What are you doing? And she goes, coach me.
Good question.
Yeah. Question by Letitia. So I charged Letitia $85 a session. And even back then, to tell her, $85 a session, it was like, wow. But that was a really big deal. But that's how I started coaching. Letitia was my first paid client, and then she referred me to other people, and it all started from there.
Well, thank you, Letitia. Thank you. So it's just awesome how well that you do follow your guidance, right? Because for me, I just wake up and say, okay, what's on the menu for today? And to live in that space of just allowing the inspiration, the guidance to come is just really amazing. So it seems like you had that through your whole journey, like right away, once you understood what a life coach is. And we still have to explain what a life coach is to many people. That just blows my mind that you just went for it all out. That's what I love about you, Christy Whitman. You just go for it all out. Whatever it is, you just, you know, you step aside, the fear steps aside, and you step in, right?
Well, it doesn't step aside. I kind of do. I make it step aside. So I'm human too, right? So I have my own stuff that comes up, my own insecurities, my own doubt, lack, whatever comes up. But it's that's when I know when it's time, when it does come up, that's when it's time to release it and work it. Because that's why
Oh,
that's the big key to why I've been successful and why I keep pushing forward and moving forward, I should say, because I don't push anymore. I used to. It's now I'm being led instead of driven. And it's because each time I put another intention out there, whatever the intention or the goal is, it's like whatever is not in resonance with that new goal will come up. And it's at that point that I need to then release it. I need to work with it. I need to shift it. I need to, transform it or transmute it. And then when I do, then I rise to that level. So it appears to everybody else that I'm just going for it, or that it's just easy, or that, but it's like I do a lot of internal work. I do now more internal work than I do outer work, but I do a lot of outer work too. You know what I mean? But it's more inner.
yes, and when you can do that, it's like magic all of a sudden happens. It's so interesting how the world just opens up to greet you, right? So that's beautiful. And when you helped me, because until I met you in 2016, I was deathly afraid of video. I have cerebral palsy, so I get self-conscious, like my left eye closes and all that stuff, all that inner gremlin things, right, that kept me playing small. But when I met you and you were talking about who are you going to be in 5 years, I had already, since I got off the plane, I made a commitment that I'm going to be that amazing coach that I strive to be in 5 years. And when that happened and we met, and I was very bold with you. I was a little bold, but the fear, it was like transcending that fear and realizing in that moment that I could dissolve my walls that I built. So talk to me about you are the queen of manifesting. I joked with you. I said you should just write a book called, Turn the Key and Walk into Your Vortex, because that's how I feel in the last year. 2017 really has been a huge, huge year for you personally. And do you care to share some of those experiences?
That happened in 2017?
Yes, you manifested like, whew, whew.
It's interesting to hear your perspective on that. So let me take it back to you. When you think of what I manifested, like what specific things, because it depends on what I did with each one. So like which ones are sticking in your mind?
Okay, well, the weekend with the wolves, which really opened you up, and jumping, you jumped off of a little pole that was, I don't know, like 15 feet in the air.
No, it was higher than that.
Really?
It was about 50 feet in the air.
Oh my God.
It was really high up there.
I think I'm more afraid of that than I would be playing with the wolves. Give me a wolf. I couldn't do that. So, and then, you manifested the dancing, right? You danced for 26 hours?
No.
I mean, 26 dances for 4 hours.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was a lot. Okay, I guess I was busy last year.
Yes, and then Paris. I don't know. You want me to keep going?
Oh yeah.
And the suite in Boston and
in Montreal.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, I
You
mean,
know, it's just fun because I feel like I live in the realm of the miraculous because I just live in the space of light.
right.
You
So,
know, even it's funny you mentioned that because this last weekend I took Frederick and my boys to go meet the wolves because
I saw that.
yeah, because while I was there I got an inspiration. I'm getting teary-eyed now. I got an inspiration to sponsor one of the wolves. And so I did, and it was interesting because I got the download of how much I needed to sponsor, and then Teo, who owns the Wolf Connection, he said to sponsor, an animal, it costs this much, and it was the exact same amount in my head that I said I was gonna. I was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, like stuff like that is just like wow. So yeah, so we went to go see Charlie, my sponsored wolf, and the boys had an amazing time, and so did Frederick, and got to experience that. But one of the cool things is that I've been partnering with a woman named Kristen Howe since 2009. We've known each other really well. We've done tons of interviews together. Every time we interview together, it's like we're sisters, and we laugh and have such a connection. And for years, we've been trying to get together. And anytime I go to LA, I'm like, oh, I got to see if Kristen's, around. And she's usually jet setting somewhere. So I didn't even think about it this time. And I knew it was going to be a quick in and out. So we're sitting there and we're getting a, they had another group that was there, and they were all going on a hike with some of the wolves. And they said, well, do you want to join the group and hear some of the stories so that they can hear I know you've heard the stories, but so that your husband and your kids can hear the stories. And I said, sure. So we waited around and waited for them to come up from their hike, and we all got in like a circle. And so they were trying to integrate us into the group and introducing us. And the woman her name's Kate, that was kind of our tour. She said, here's Frederick and Alex and Maxim. And then at that point, I look up and there's a woman, and she's mouthing Christy Whitman. And I look at her and I'm like, Kristen? And we were both like, and we just went up to each other and just gave each other this like huge hug. And everybody's like, what is going on? What is happening here? And we've been trying to connect since 2009, and like had that moment there at the Wolf Connection. She had never been there before.
Oh, wow.
It was her first time, and so it was amazing. It was just magical things happen like that, because she's definitely a person that I wanted to connect with and see, and it was fun spending that time there.
Oh, that's awesome. I did see the pictures of your boys and everything. I think that's so amazing because I watched the video when you arrived, right, to do your weekend, and it was like, ooh, I don't know, but you always seem to just go for it. And what do you think that for people that are afraid to go for it, right? They really want to do something, but they have that resistance. What is a way that they can just release the walls? You
Well,
know,
you have to look at everything as just energy. So even when a fear comes up, a doubt, a worry, any of that, it's energy. And so what happens is a certain situation triggers a pain point or something that's energetically stuck within inside of us, and then that's why we get crazy. So it's like that's the moment to either just ignore it and suppress it and keep moving on like you did before, or come at it at a different way, because that fear is still in you. It's been in you, or the worry or the doubt or whatever it is. It's just being activated at that time. And when you can actually release the energy of it, it allows you to start freeing yourself, so you're able to move forward. So there's really only two things we can do. We can either avoid ourselves, try to pretend like we're not feeling something,
right.
we're still attracting from that point, or we actually let go and release.
Just let go and release. Like I'm interviewing Christy Whitman, and we're having a blizzard. Like, release. Yes. So, yes, but
You're adorable.
thank you. So I have learned, in 2016, you talked about stepping into your future self, right? So that one piece of advice from you has really served me well because I actually was able to transcend many fears by using the, step into your future self process that you had us go through at that event. So thank you. Um, you have the most brilliant mind of any woman that I've had the honor to meet, watch, see. I mean, you really are really brilliant.
Thank you.
And the way that you follow your own inner wisdom and guidance is just so amazing that I know for the wolf, the wolf weekend and other occasions that you'll say yes first and then you step into it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm feeling about this, but I'm just going to say yes and then I'm going to go for it, right?
Well, it's either a yes or a no. I feel my way into the energy of something, and I'm like, does that feel good to me? Does that feel like a yes? Oh no, that feels like a no. And then I know enough to either say yes when I mean yes, and to say no when I mean no. Because I get asked to do a lot of things. That's why I always kind of tease that once you start stepping into a place of abundance, abundance comes in many different forms, and there's still a lot of opportunities, situations, circumstances that come at and invites and all that kind of stuff. And so I can't possibly say yes to everything, and not everything feels like a yes to me. So I'll say, maybe that's a maybe, not for now, because I'm just clear on what my goals are. I'm clear on what I've got going on. I mean, there's one entity that I will always say yes to, and that's my divine self. So right now, my divine self has me writing 3 books. Like, I have one coming out in September.
I'm so excited.
Oh, it's like and it's just downloading, and so it's like in those kind of situations, I would normally go, well, no, I'm focused on this book. I've got this book coming out. I gotta work on the marketing of this book, right? I gotta figure out what the sales process is going to be of this book. If I going to do a tour, am I going to do a media tour? Like, all the strategies and all that, right? That's what my humanness is focused on right now, because that's what's coming out. But then there's that other part that it's like, it's coming through. And I've always said, yes, I will be obedient. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it right now, because my humanness is busy doing this, but I will definitely challenge it, and I agree to do something with it when it's the time for it.
And and that's why, because I do know, I mean, you did a TED talk, I mean, you really are like moving mountains and just, soaring in the magic that is you. So when you said yes to my invitation, I was so honored, because I really do respect, that you are giving me your time and you're giving the audience your time. So I so appreciate that. I want to talk about the Academy, because the Academy is like this magic realm that you enter, right? And you just release the layers of resistance, and it's like walking every day in the becoming.
Yes.
So what made you, what had you say, I'm going to open an academy?
Yeah, I actually didn't. I just did it for a little bit. I met a woman, so I think it put the seed in, right? I met a woman that created her own certification program, from heartbreak to happiness, and Aurora Winters, I think her last name is. And I was in a mastermind group with her, and she was saying that she was certifying coaches to, take through her process. And I was like, well, I was asking questions like, how could you do a certification? Just all the different questions that I would have had, because I had the download to do a law of attraction one, right? But it wasn't the timing for it. But it was like that little seeds were being planted. And I kind of was going through the thing of, well, who am I? There's all those people that were in the secret. Who am I to do that, right? And then I had literally within a week's period 4 different people that came to me and said, I want you to teach me to do what you do. And so the first woman, her name's Vanessa, she actually never ended up going into the QSEA, but she's now a really successful coach. She said, she was so adamant, I want you to teach me exactly what you do. And I'm like, well, I don't do that. Like, and she goes, I want you to certify me in law of attraction. I'm like, I don't do that. I can tell you where I went and send you there and refer you there. And she's like, no, I want you. And she was just so, and I'm like, but Vanessa, I don't do that. Right. She's like, well, you're gonna, and I want you to. Oh my God. So I did a workshop, which is a rare thing too, because I don't do a lot of live workshops, especially in the cities that I live in. But I was doing a live workshop in Montreal. It was a 2-night workshop. And on the one end of the one night, I had a woman come up to me and saying, I would love for you to teach me what you know and how you do it. And I said, well, and she goes, I want to be a coach like you. Can you certify me to do what you do? And I'm like, no, I don't do that. Right. And then by the next night, now this is third person in like 3 days, a man came up to me. None of these people knew each other. A man came up to me and said, I want to do what you do. Can you teach me? Can you certify me? And I was like, all right, I'm kind of getting it.
All right.
I'll never forget. It was on a Wednesday night that happened. So on Monday, I get the coaching client from Vanessa. Tuesday night is the first part of the workshop. The woman comes up to me. Wednesday night, the guy comes on Thursday, I'm like, all right, I'm hearing the surround sound effect kind of thing going on. If I was to teach someone to do what I do, what would that be? I download everything. I just put pen to paper, and it just came like, it needs to be 12 months. It can't be 6 months. It's full of integrity. They need time to integrate. And then it was like modules, boom, 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 boom. Like each of the different modules came in. It was like 7 classes per module. Here's the classes. I mean, everything just filled in. And I just took, it was like an hour later. My hand was like, you know, I couldn't even move it. It was just a wire. This whole thing was laid out, and I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is amazing. Wow. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to put it to the side. And how could I market it? Who could I partner with? Started thinking about all those kind of things. Actually started reaching out to a couple people. They said yes. So then on Friday, I had a coaching call with Evelyn Apostolou, who's now the leading,
she's amazing.
Yeah, she is. She's the managing director of the QSEA. She was a client of mine at the time. And she came to the call, and I've been coaching her for weeks and weeks. And she came to the call, and she had this revelation. She's like, I figured it out. I know it. And she was so pumped up, so excited. And I'm like, what? She goes, I want to be a coach like you, and I want you to teach me. Well, Evelyn, earlier this week, I put that request too. I actually am putting a certification program together. And she goes, I will be the first person that signs up. And so she was.
Oh, thank God. Right? Thank Goddess. Because, yes. And not only do you have the modules and the most fabulous instructors, and your support team family is, beyond fabulous, but you set it up in a way that right from the beginning you're supported, right? Brilliant. And that's why you are the most brilliant woman, because I didn't really know what to expect when I entered the academy, but it was like being walked through every step of the way, and the becoming of who I'm meant to be was just unfolding and unfolding, and it was just so beautiful. But I'm not the only person that feels that way. And I have something that, if you don't mind, I would like to share from you, because I have a few coaches that would love to say, something to you. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay. Just bear with me while I get my share screen ready.
Okay. You're going to make me cry. Oh, Kim. Oh.
I love her.
Love Kim.
Hello, Miss Christy. I am so happy to be here today to say thank you to you. Thank you for following your guidance and creating the Quantum Success Coaching Academy and everything that trickles on beyond that. I graduated from the QSCA in spring 2015 and had no idea how impactful joining the QSCA was going to be for me, but it makes sense actually because I never anticipated I was going to do this something coaching program, which is what the QSCA was for me. And that's one of the biggest impulse buys that I've ever made in my life. And that's just how strong the universe was saying to me, yes, do this. I really signed up within like the last 10 minutes of registration in spring 2014. So that was my beginning of being exposed to the QACA, and I'm just so grateful. I want to tell you that today I am a speaker, coach, trainer, best-selling co-author, and the host of the Everyday is a New Day show. And you are a beautiful, powerful woman. You stand in your power in all that you do. And where I was at that time in my life, I certainly was not standing in my power, but I was on the journey to learning what that looked like and what that meant for me. And the biggest piece of all of this for me was about learning that my emotions are information. Mm. Because today, I'm a little different. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be where I am, and I'm so grateful for who you are and all that you do and all that you continue to put out there. So I'm supposed to keep this video short. I'm going to go for now. I just want to say thank you. You are making a positive difference, and that means a lot to me. I'm just grateful to be part of your community, your tribe, and your
so sweet.
Hey, Christy, Jason Richardson here. I graduated from your program at USCA back in 2015.
Oh, I can't hear him.
You can't.
Program that you created.
Aww. Sorry.
That's okay. Can you send me that link? That's so sweet.
Yes. There's a few more. Is that okay? Can you hear her?
No. It's something's muted, it says.
Oh. No.
Very low.
I will send it to you.
Well, thank you. Susan, that is so sweet. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Oh, I mean, they're amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that gift. It's such a beautiful gift.
They're so amazing, and they just, feel as I do.
Well, thank you.
You know,
you're all just grateful because you feel the light in me, and that's what I'm about, and that's how I live my life, and it's the light in you that likes the light in me.
I think it's a little more than that, because just a little bit.
It is. It's the divine in you that is being awakened, or that is something awoke in you, and there's that gratitude for that. So, because I'm just a normal woman, and I appreciate all the. I'm very humbled by all of that. So thank you. But I am just a normal woman that went from totally lack and limitation to changing my life situation around. And I'm blessed that I get to do what I get to do. So I feel as grateful as all you do, because it's like, I could have this information and have nobody to share with, because it's in the sharing that I learn more. It's in the sharing that I get to see other people shift. It's in the sharing that I get to have people to actually play with,
Yes, so you just set us up for success in our life. So it's not just this little tiny thing that you've done. And it was your brilliant, beautiful light that did attract us to you. But it is all the skills and the tools and the resources and the support that you gave all of us that allows us to move forward and help others in the world. So, thank you. So I want to talk about Well, I would love your thoughts on anything that you really want to share, any thoughts that you have, or anything coming up maybe that you would like to share.
No, I just, for me, it's just all about, intending, getting clear on what you want. And with that intention, just noticing the parts of you that are not in alignment with that intention. And that's where the work begins. And it doesn't have to be hard or tedious. It doesn't have to take years and years because everything is energy. And when you get that, really, there is only two choices. It's like, okay, continue to have the blocks, continue to have the energy just stored there, or open up. Just relax, open up, let it process through you, and it buoys you up to a new space. So, all of us have very different intentions, and yet we all have an intention to help people, and, in different ways of doing that. And, as long as you're following that non-physical part of you, that consciousness that's going out in front of you and paving the way for you and clearing the way for you, and you following that more than you're following the limiting voices or the limiting people, or you're going to find yourself in a really beautiful place with doing what you love and having lots of rewards doing it.
So for me, it was, when I was bedridden and I was asking my guidance, like, if I can't work and I can't walk, who am I? And then I got a very clear message that I was loved. And then your email popped in my box. And I'm like, oh, I can be a coach from bed, right? And it just led me on this beautiful journey. So if somebody out there is thinking, about a career change, thinking about becoming a coach, what would you say? What would you say to them why they should join the academy, your coaching academy? I can say a lot, but
First of all, their level of personal growth and development will be the biggest thing. So, whether someone comes in thinking that they want to become a coach and they actually go the distance, that's one thing. But every single person coming in to the coaching academy, like you said, will learn the basics of being a human being and living in this thing called, the spinning globe of Earth, because there's universal laws. And when you learn these and you learn how to apply them, life becomes very, very different. And from there, everything opens up. So, it's almost like it's secondary to become a coach because it's the development that you're going to experience. But then yet, if you're coming in to be a coach, the benefit is you get to also have the side effect of all the growth that you will experience. So it's both and lots of people even come in and they don't necessarily go full time as a coach anymore, but they're so grateful for the experience of the growth that they had.
Yes. So it has been just life-changing for every single one. And I will send you that recording because, I know that you have a lot of people that send you testimonials and everything, but they really just wanted you to feel their heart and their gratitude for all that you bring. So let me ask you, what's your intention to manifest in 2018?
Well, like I said, my biggest focus is my new book, Quantum Success, and it's really, it's kind of like the secret for your career, or law of attraction for your career is another way of saying it. So I'm really excited because I think this is going to reach a very, very different audience than I've been previously talking to. And, the other thing is too, I've gotten really super clear. I think you were definitely there.
Yes.
Years ago, and I said I had Esther envy. Remember I said that because for me to do a QSB event, for example, it's 6 months at least to prepare everything and do everything and think about what all that stuff. And since I made that statement, I've been developing things where I just show up and I get to heal and coach someone and see amazing shifts happening. So we're going to actually be starting doing Esther-like workshops live in different cities where I'm going to come on stage. I'm just going to talk on a subject for a little bit and then pull people up on stage and start healing and coaching them. So
Oh, that's so beautiful.
yeah,
That's so
so
beautiful.
really excited about that.
Because you have this amazing business side, but you also have this amazing healer side, right?
Yeah.
So you've been in business mode for a long time. So to allow that healer, Christy, to
Yeah.
shine, right? I'm really
Yeah, and
excited.
I also adjusted stuff in my business too, because I got really clear in 2017 that I wanted to just show up as a healer and do what I do best. And I don't necessarily want to be that business side of Christy anymore. I've done that long enough, and I know what I'm doing, and I did it well. But I want someone else that's better at it than I am. And if I still have marketing ideas or creative ideas, to be able to partner with that person. So I actually hired in my business a business manager, which I've never had that before. So it's great because she does all the, and I just show up.
Yeah, right? You just show up and allow.
Yeah.
Right? I love that. I
So
love that. That's so exciting. That's
yeah.
so exciting. It's but can I still like get a little help on the business?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I mean, that part of my brain will always work.
I'm teasing.
Strategize, but for me and my business, and it's even funny because I stopped doing my mentoring group where I used to take people for a year through mentoring in business. And I partnered with Lisa Nichols for 6 months, and I did the inner game of success, while she did the strategies. But I've done the strategies for so long, I was integrating with her and talking and, teaching right along with her the way I had done things and the way I still do things. So, it's still there. It's still part of me.
Yes, but it's so nice that you're gonna, because life is choice, right? So we get to choose what direction we go in. And it's like, okay, I've had that experience. I loved it. I enjoyed it. But now I'm wanting to have this new experience, just like you did with the wolves, right? So you're always growing and stretching. And I just so admire that about you. And I'm really excited for this, to see more of what comes out, because you are brilliant. And I know whatever you do, you're going to be shining that light. So we're coming to the end of our time, but I wanted to just ask if you had anything else that you wanted to share.
I mean, really, you really are unlimited, and your life is unlimited. And when you start to feel those places, those energy edges where you are feeling limitation, that's up to you to let that go so that you can really align with the unlimited being that you are.
Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for showing up and playing with me. And I'm just grateful that the blizzard did not take down the electricity. And, if ever I can do anything for you, share, shout out, whatever, I'm forever grateful.
Thank you. Well, I'd love to invite you and everybody to be an ambassador. So if you guys aren't a book ambassador, if you guys aren't signed up to be a book ambassador, I'm going to give lots of fun, cool stuff. And you just get to share your words about the book and all that. So that'll be definitely a way that you can help support me in getting the book out there.
Absolutely, you got it. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, where should they check out? Should they go to your website?
ChristyWhitman.com is probably the best way to start the relationship with me if they haven't had one already.
Okay. And yes, I'm definitely a book ambassador.
Awesome.
Yay! So I'm really looking forward to it, and thank you again so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and thanks so much for that gift of seeing everybody. And I really want to hear it. So
yes,
that to me.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Miss Christy Whitman. I am so happy to be here today to say thank you to you. Thank you for following your guidance and creating the Quantum Success Coaching Academy and everything that's trickled on beyond that. I graduated from the QSCA in spring 2015 and had no idea how impactful joining the QSCA was going to be for me, but it makes sense actually, because I never anticipated I was going to do a second coaching program, which is what the QSCA was for me. And that's one of the biggest impulse buys that I've ever made in my life. And that's just how strong the universe was saying to me, Kim, yes, do this. I literally signed up in like the last 10 minutes of registration in spring 2014. So that was my beginning of, being exposed to the QSCA. And I'm just so grateful. I want to tell you that today I am a speaker, coach, trainer, best-selling co-author, and the host of the Every Day is a New Day show. And you are a beautiful, powerful woman. You stand in your power in all that you do, and it's a fantastic example for all of us. And where I was at that time in my life, I certainly was not standing in my power, but I was on the journey to learning what that looked like and what that meant for me. And the biggest piece of all of this for me was about learning that my emotions are information. Because today I'm a little different. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be where I am, and I'm so grateful for who you are and all that you do and all that you continue to put out there. So I'm supposed to keep this video short. I'm gonna go for now, but I just want to say thank you. You are making a positive difference, and that means a lot to me, and I'm just grateful to be part of your community, your tribe, and your family. So thank you. And
hey, Christy, Jason Richardson here. I graduated from your program, the QSCA, back in 2015, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for this amazing program that you created. It has been life-changing for me and for my family. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Hi, Christy. Ann McElwee here, coaching with Ann. Interesting. I was not in the market to become a life coach, and somehow you wound up in my email box, and I was very intrigued. And your authenticity, your just so authentic, and your energy and spirit, and it just pulled me in. I decided to give myself permission. I had a lot of debt in my life at that time, and I thought, you know what? I need to change my life. I knew if I didn't say yes to this, my life was going to be the same a year later. And there was something about you that really pulled me in, that I really felt it. And so grateful. I don't even know the words to use to truly explain the depth of the impression that you make on myself and many of us. And taking this journey has been the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life. The growth, the classes that I've continued to take with you, the light body, creating money, the daily meditations, and just watching you shoot for the stars truly inspires me to know. Watching you truly gives me inspiration, because I am in the process and I am living the life of my dreams. And I just thank you for following your heart and for following your inspiration and for creating this phenomenal academy and this phenomenal family that you have. And I'm just so grateful and just so happy to be here and a part of it. So thank you so much for all you do and that you continue to do.
I can have it all, can have it all, I can have it. Christy Whitman, amazing Christy Whitman. How do I thank somebody who has changed my life in all the ways I never dreamed possible? Thank you for the relationships you connected me with. I know that because of the QSCA, they are lifelong relationships. I'm Nori Love of Hypnotherapy with Love and Coaching with Love. Thank you even more for the relationship you connected me with myself and the universe. I know it doesn't matter where I came from, but the most important part is I can tell you honestly from my heart, I too believe that I can have it all now. Thank you so much. I love you. I adore you. And on a lighter note, let's go shopping. I loved you, Christy Whitman. Thank you.
Hi, Christy. It's Susan Bradley Bortfield. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the beautiful gift that you are in this world. When I joined the Academy in 2015, I was just recovering from being bedridden. I was so lost at that time in my life. Being disabled was just not an option, and I asked my guidance, what can I do from bed? Then there you were in my inbox. Immediately I knew that I was meant to say yes. Only did you teach us how to become extraordinary coaches. You've given us all the tools, all the knowledge, all the wisdom that we need to move forward and bring our gifts out into the world and make a difference. But I didn't expect to find my purpose in this life. I never even believed I had a purpose. But through the Academy, as I applied the laws of attraction, as I applied all the lessons I learned, as I grew and evolved, I found my purpose. I found my voice. I found healing. And today, I am the creator and founder of Partners at Play, Soul Speakers Global, and I assist so many on their path. You have taught me how to stretch and grow just by witnessing your own journey. I go for it. I say yes. I'm continually growing and learning and stretching and becoming. I am always forever becoming. And I have so much gratitude to you for seeing the signs, for hearing the call, and creating this amazing platform on which to grow. Aside from all the learning, the relationships and your team, they are incredible. And throughout the experience, I felt so supported. By the end of it, I thought I could fly. So I did.
Hey Christy, this is Lynn. I am from Clear Channel and Lion Star Coaching. The favorite thing to do in regards to my clients is see how they are reclaiming their power and see how they can live their own dream life and not chase somebody else's dream, and how they can have magic in their life. I use many different tools, and I got even more tools in my tool belt when I joined the QSCA. As a graduate, I can look back and I can be really grateful and thankful for especially two things. I love the fact that you have created different programs for people's needs, wallets, and time, and how willing they are to invest in themselves. Among programs that you have that I really love is how to find a soulmate, uncover money blocks and how to resolve them, find a business partner, manifest things, small or big, just wonderful opportunities, and just so much more. And the other thing that I am super excited about is all the amazing people that I have gotten to connect with over the years. Both clients and other amazing mentors, teachers, life coaches, hypnotherapists, etc. Meeting like-minded people like that is a gift for life. So for that, I thank you, Christy. Much love.